voice from heaven, saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwatash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. And what I want to get into this afternoon, is pretty much, dealing with, the good wine. I was listening to the Elder Apostles, live camp from this weekend, and Elder Apostle Gabar, had made a point, of how, that miracle when Yahweh Shai turned the water to wine at that marriage, at their wedding, pretty much, that was symbolic, of this truth. All right, and we're going to prove it in the scriptures, because the master, the feast had made a point of how, that the wine that Yahweh Shai, had, the water that Yahweh Shai had turned to wine, how it was, all right, superior, to all the other wine of that feast, which is similar to what? This doctrine being superior to every other doctrine, in the earth. Now, when you go to St. John 2:1, it says, in the third day, there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee. The mother of Yahushua was there, and both Yahushua was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Yahushua saith unto them, they have no wine. Yahushua said unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? My hour is not yet come. His mother said unto the servants, all right, whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, so like containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. And Yahushua said unto them, fill the water pots with water, and they filled them up to the brim. And he said unto them, draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bare it. When the rulers of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servants which drew the water knew, the governor of the feast called the bridegroom, and said unto him, every man at the beginning doth set forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. All right, but thou hast kept the good wine until now. All right, thou hast kept the good wine until now. And that's, symbolic of what? This ministry, this truth. All right, this truth, because this is the last and final doctrine. All right, and it's going to reign supreme. Everything else is going to fade away, but this doctrine, this word is going to reign supreme. All right, this good wine. All right, so the understanding that we have, and that's why everything is becoming so foolish, because what? This word, all right, it is so superior to everything. See, before this word, there was other things that, we thought sounded great. We was in all it, street culture, the, thug culture, the American dream, the entrepreneur dream, and, just thriving in America. And you see, the equality and, all these things that we believe, to be superior. But then this word came along and showed itself superior to everything. You see, because, hey, when you first start drinking, you might, get some Taka. You can get Mad Dog 2020. The best thing going, whatever. A lot of people start off with the cheap, liquor. But then when you start developing pretty much a feel, for the different liquors and, the different, ways liquors are made, double barrel, different, cast in oak barrels and all these different things, you become what you call a connoisseur. All right. Then, all right, you start drinking superior things and they can't offer you the taka anymore. All right. Once you start drinking superior, liquor, you don't want to go back, all right, to the Mad Dog 2020. All right. Wild Eyes Roll, King Cobra, once you experience, better. And that's what it is with this ministry. Now, let's prove that. All right. Because when you go into the book of Isaiah, you go to Isaiah 55, all right, and 1, it says, "Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that have money," you see that? "Come ye, buy and eat. Yeah, come buy wine, all right, and milk without price and without money." All right, without money, without price. So this truth is what likened to this wine. And how do you buy it? Not with money, but with your time. All right, you spend time indulging in this wine, this true doctrine, this good wine, this understanding. You see, this understanding, we're spending our time and we're indulging, all right, in this good wine, because, we all came into this thing thirsting, for understanding. I know when I was going to church, I used to go to 2 different churches a day sometime, man. I was attracted to the Bible, I was thirsting, but I wasn't getting the real deal. All right. I was getting the mad dog, you see, because that Christianity doctrine is madness, man. I was getting that MD 2020, the peach flavor, you see, through. All right. But then I came across this good wine, all right, which is this doctrine, and see, one thing about that cheap liquor, what happens? It gives you headaches, hangover, mess up your bowels, you be through, But the higher grade you get, of a wine or a strong drink, the less of those, horrific side effects that it has, man. And it's a different feel. You see, just like this word. All right. So let's go from there. Showing you that what, man, this is the superior understanding. Now, when you go from there, let's get 1 Corinthians 1. All right. This is 1 Corinthians 1 and 19. It said, "For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent." And why? And what's happening? This word, this doctrine is so superior, all right, that everything else is sounding foolish, man. You see? So now, what are we seeing? We seeing this word, all right, reigning supreme, which is this good wine. This good wine is reigning supreme in the earth. Even when you go to Matthew, so it's making everything else be foolish. Like, it will be foolish, to go get some some taka, or some damn King Cobra. Now we know better, all right. We know is a better way. So it'll be foolish, all right. Show up with a 211, some crazy old English or something, it'd be foolish. Just like now, it'd be foolish, all right, to go attend the Sunday school service, all right, to go to a mosque, all right, or paint that Egyptian eye, the eye of Horus on your face, it'd be foolish, and that's how it is with this wisdom. We have the superior wine, that good wine. This is Matthew 24 and 35. It says, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, But my words, which is what? The words is this doctrine, that good wine, shall not pass away. See, all this other madness is going to pass away. You see, but this word is going to reign supreme. This is what's going to, this word, within this word, this is what's going to establish an eternal kingdom. All right? That good wine, and we're going to prove it. All right? We're going to prove it. It's going to be by this word, that good wine. You see? Now, when you read, let's get that in Isaiah. And the men of the Lord, have been pretty much tasked, all right, with what? Distributing, this wine, as a steward, of a household, because the steward would control, and distribute, goods with the, the bread, the wine, in this due time, So we're like stewards, how to wine as far as this doctrine, man. All right, let me open this up. Because when you go into Isaiah 1:21, it says, "How is the faithful city become a harlot?" And it's speaking of Israel. All right, it's speaking of us as a people. Not the the city. All right, but the inhabitants, of that city, which were Israelites. So it's speaking to Israel, the people. It said, "How will the faithful city become a harlot?" Which is what? A spiritual harlot. All right. How do we become a harlot? Serving other gods. You got taken to Islam, like I say, Christianity, Egyptology. All right. That's all right. When our people do these things, when we was doing these things, we was harlots. And our people that continue to do these things, they are likened unto spiritual harlots. But at one time, we was a people that was faithful to our power. So the Most High is asking, how is the faithful city become a harlot? How is these people become, spiritual harlots, man? And it was what? Through that bad wine. You see? And it says, "Thy silver is become dross, thy wine mixed with water. Thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves." All right. "Everyone loveth gifts and follow after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them." It says, "Everyone loveth gifts and a companion of thieves." And who's the main thief? Esau, Edom. So the leaders, all right, because the princes are rebellion, which is the leadership of our people. They have a rebellious mind towards the standard of the scriptures, and they conform to who? Esau, Edom. They become companions of thieves, you see, and they love it rewards, all right, because even within, our doctrine, when you go, because the law is part of the doctrine, the commandments, we had a law that said what? Thou should not be a respecter of persons, and that we shouldn't receive, gifts, all right, to pretty much, corrupt judgment. All right. We wasn't supposed to get gifts, all right, in the corruption of judgment, but our people do that. You see, Esau gives our people millions of dollars, and what did Jake do? They put on dresses, they teach about, destructive, they give our people a standard of destruction, a culture of destruction, because that's wicked judgment. When you make these particular songs and you push out this particular energy, well, that's wicked judgment. You're being paid to influence the people in a wicked way, and that's wicked judgment, man. Because you made a decision. Because judges is what? When you're in the position of the judge, what are you doing? What's the main thing that you're doing? Making decisions. And you see the decisions that our people are making, which is to what? To lead our people to destruction. That's why that's an unrighteous judgment what our people are doing, man. All right. It said they judge not the fatherless, all right, though the cause of the widow coming to them. And Israel is likened it to the fatherless and the widow, because the widow and the fathers, those are two vulnerable people. You go into the ancient world, someone, a man that had died and left behind a widow and children. Well, that widow and no children would be kind of vulnerable, because they lost, all right, the breadwinner. They lost their stability. You see, just as a nation, we lost our stability with, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, which is like what? To our husband, our father. You see? And you keep reading on, and it says, verse 24, therefore said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai of hosts, the mighty one of Israel. It says, I skipped. This is what I wanted to focus on. All right. I'm going to read 21 and read into it. This is Isaiah 1 and 21. It says, how was the faithful city become an harlot? It was full of judgment. Righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers. Thy silver is become dross, and dross is something that's unwanted. Thy wine mixed with water. And what did Yahweh Shai do to the water? He turned it to wine. All right. So it says thy wine mixed with water, which means what? We had a very watered down version of true doctrine. You see, a weak ass doctrine, man. Christianity, Jay got that term, weak as water. All right. Christianity, that doctrine, weak as water. That's why ain't nobody even trying to whip Jesus out. Like when it comes to, what's going on earth, no one's trying to run to Jesus because, hey, that doctrine is so weak. You don't stand a chance to what's going on in the earth today. You try to bring out, the doctrine of Jesus in these times, you're going to be ran through, Christianity is a very weak, all right, doctrine, that's supposed to give understanding to the scriptures. So it says thy wine mixed with water, man, So what did Yahweh Shai do? He turned that water, all right, all these weak doctrines, that was given to our people. And what did he do? He turned to that good wine. You see, now we have that good wine again. And it's beautiful, man. You see, we have that good wine again. Now, let's go from there. All right, because what does it say in Isaiah? Because us being put back in order, all right, through this word, through this doctrine, what's going to happen? All right, we're going to be exalted to rulership. You see, and pretty soon, all right, just like the people have drunk of the wine, all right, of Esau, Edom, well, they're going to drink of the good wine of the nation of Israel. All right, because our people have been drunken, all right, with the what? The wine, all right, of Babylon. These nations have drunken what? The wine of Babylon, man. You see? But they're going to drink of the good wine of Israel in the kingdom. And let's prove it. Now, when you go to Isaiah 2, all right, and we're going to bring it home with Joel, all right, but when you go to Isaiah 2 and 1, it says the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Why? Because Israel is going to be that exalted government. Yahweh Shai and that governing body of Israel is going to dominate, all right, the planet Earth. And the nation of Israel as a whole, all right, will be, established, all right, as that noble people in the earth. We're going to be established as that nobility in the earth. And amongst, all right, the nation of Israel, you're going to have a government that's going to be exalted above all these nations. All right. And it says, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. All right. And many people shall go and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he would teach us his ways, which means what? They're going to come and get that good wine, and we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law, Al Shai, from Jerusalem. So these nations are going to come what? Partake in that good wine, man, that good doctrine, man. You see? And let's prove that, all right? Because we talk about those mountains, so let's go to Joel. Let's link it up in Joel. This is Joel 3 and 16. All right, now this is what? This is going to World War III. All right. And in the midst of World War III, Yahweh Shai will appear and intervene, all right, and conquer the earth in righteousness, and he's going to set up what? That righteous government in the earth. All right. So this is Joel 3:16 says, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. You see? Because in the midst of this third world war, because the scripts talk about the earth ready to and fro like a drunkard with those missiles, Yahweh Shai is going to come deliver the elect out of that judgment. You see? Verse 17. So shall ye know that I am the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Going back to what? Isaiah the 2nd chapter. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. All right, because everyone's all right. Now, how these heathens have access to us, they're not going to have this access to Israel. All right, we're going to be a noble, a nation of nobility. You see, and especially the higher ups like Yahushua, King David, 144,000. Everyone's not going to have access to that, man. Ain't gonna be just no heathens just chilling around, just hanging around. No, these heathens gonna be working while we're enjoying the earth, man. You see, we're not gonna be mingled amongst the heathen. We're not gonna be on the same level as these heathens. We're gonna be exalted. And it says, and this the point, and this shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine. You see, the mountains shall drop down new wine. And this is what? The doctrine. You see, this is going to be that doctrine, that good wine. All right, the wisdom, all right, that we're receiving and gaining right now, and it's going to increase tremendously, when we change, But that's going to be the doctrine. That's going to be the good wine. Just as, the Most High. The scriptures say that Babylon had been the golden cup in the hand of the Lord. All right, the nation have drunken of and are mad. Well, it's gonna be the complete opposite in the kingdom. Israel gonna be that golden cup in the hand of the Lord, and the nation is going to drink of it and rejoice. You see, they're going to drink wine and rejoice. This that good wine. All right, Esau was, making these walk me downs with that, with that off-brand ass vodka. You see, passing around to the earth. Yeah, you feel good for them, the moments you up. You're doing the Tootsie Roll on the bar. All right, then you wake up, head spinning. You can't move. You stuck to the bed, throwing up on yourself. And this is this is the aftermath of what? Drinking, the ways, the philosophies of Esau Edom. You got over there in China and Russia, they pretty much they had to start different little programs to try to bring manhood back, to their society, man. Because what? They drunk of this wine of, feminists and women worship and, all this madness that goes on over here. And it's destroying their nations, man. So the nations drunk of that wine are mad, but they're going to drink of that wine of Israel, that doctrine of Israel, and rejoice. And it says, and the hill shall flow with milk, all right? Which milk is what? Nourishment. And all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters. You see that? Those waters. And a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord and shall water the valley of Shittim, man. So, just as, Yahweh Bashim Shai, he reserved what? Yahweh Shai, he performed that miracle, and the good wine was, reserved, for the last of the feast, the last of the ceremony. Well, this good wine was reserved, for these days, for the last, all right, of this time, man. All right. Matter of fact, let's get there real quick, because the apostles, all right, the teachers and men of the Lord, are likened to those vessels that water was poured into and then turned into wine. We will be likened unto the vessels. All right, and that's why what you say, 1 Corinthians 4:9. For I think that the Most High have set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels and to men. You see, so the apostles were what? Set up last. All right, was sent forth last with what? That good wine. All right, it's just like their feast. So, Lord Williams edifying. When El Apostle Gabar had made, their statement, it clicked. It made perfect sense. So Lord Williams edifying to you brothers and you few sisters. Next time I say Shalom, Kwam Yashala, Abba, DTA soon.